Hello and welcome back to Lightworker Training. My name is Tatiana and the topic of today's video is Lightwork versus Darkwork. So let's get into it. I touched on this topic a little bit in the very first video I made about what a Lightworker really is. What does that mean, Lightwork? What does that mean, light? So I want to talk more about it in this video and break down this kind of framework for understanding when we are on a path that is going to create outcomes that are desirable, helpful, positive, and when we get off track and start creating things that have a negative manifestation. And hey, you know what? Even that is helpful, right? Because you get that result and you can say, I must have been doing some dark work. So when I'm talking about light work, I'm talking about aligning with the light and the love and the truth of creation. So aligning with, I find it the most helpful to go straight to the source and have an intention of aligning with your higher self and the source of all that is. And I'll probably make another video about, intermediaries and working with guides and things like that. I talked about it a little bit in the Being a Clear Channel videos, but suffice it to say for this video, what that light and love vibration is that feeling of connection, that feeling of openness, that feeling of empowerment, and a vibration of the infinite possibilities that exist for us as infinite beings, as eternal souls. So when we're in that frequency, that is the frequency of love. So very different than the kind of love that is or what is called love, which is really more like lust that's portrayed in movies and things like this, or people saying, oh my God, I love that car. So we can have appreciation for things, but I want to be clear when I'm using these words, just because the word love has been used to describe things that are not what I'm talking about in this video. So I think it's clear, right? You know what I'm saying? This energy of love gives us a feeling of expansion, okay? Love is like, I can breathe. I feel expanded in my field, expanded in my possibilities. I feel connected to the one. I feel connected to my higher self, to my power, my purpose, etc. So if you're in that vibe of love, you'll be feeling this sense of connection, openness, oneness, like, yeah, I'm one with the one and we're getting it done, right? Versus fear, which puts you on the dark side of the polarity, right? So when you go into an energy of fear, so I'm not talking about having a moment of like, because your physical body is responding to a present danger to the physical body. So we do have those moments where we're like, oh, where we get startled, we get scared. We have a reaction, a very primal reaction that it comes from the body to keep the body safe. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about the energy of fear in your mind. Fear in your mind. So when you have fear in your mind, oh my gosh, this reminds me of that Dune quote. Fear is the mind killer. It really is, because it cuts you off from your right mind. It cuts you off from the one mind the infinite mind of creation. So in that space of fear as a mindset, there's a contraction. So we go through the rhythmic ebbs and flows of sometimes feeling more expanded, sometimes feeling more contracted, but it's just a little bit like breathing. It's not, you wouldn't live your whole life in a space of contraction, right? So this is what happens when we have fear as a mindset. Fear becomes a way of life. That when your body has a primal fear response, it's meant to be very fast to take action of whatever needs to be done, to be wake up, danger, do something, and then let it go. It's there to be used as an alarm clock and to move very quickly and to let it go. We're not supposed to be in this fear vibration as a mindset, as a way of life all the time. But if you're plugged into the media, then you probably are struggling with this one. But it's not just when you plug into, things that you see on screens, whatever the platform is. It's just the collective. So the collective hive mind is vibrating at a very low frequency, very base level consciousness, base materialism, and all about just that kind of fear, survival energy. It's like not a good place to be creating from. And if you have any questions about that, just look at the state of the world. So what we see manifested in the world today is due to the aggregate of the collective consciousness operating from a very fear-based and materialistic base level consciousness. And then this is what you get. And then, it starts to feed into itself. It's like being stuck in a hellish feedback loop. But we can break out of it anytime we want. We don't have to resonate with that bullshit that's going on in the collective. In fact, we must not resonate with that bullshit that's going on in the collective if we desire to make a positive contribution in our own lives. And yes, perhaps that can benefit others who are open, right? Open and desiring of that connection, desiring of that knowledge. So I talked about this a little bit in the Can You Heal Someone Else video. So that's why I'm clarifying that, right? That people have to be in their free will choice to receive that. But I believe that whatever we do in that vibration of love is eternal. That is a gift that ripples out throughout all of creation. It ripples out through the whole field of creation, and it could be touching lives that you don't even know, but you probably could tune into it and find out if you wanted to, which is cool. Cool thing about doing this work and operating in the invisible realms mostly and working the energy there is you really can connect with anyone in the field of creation if you desire to. Okay, so I'm trying not to get too tangential and stay on track here. So we've got column number 1, which I will call light. And in that column, we have, first of all, being in the vibration of love. Then in the dark side, we've got the vibration of fear. And we have defined the vibration of love as partially as openness and connection, and fear as being partially contraction and separation. So separation from the oneness, separation from your power, separation from all that is good and true. Separation from the truth. Oh, yikes. Don't want to be creating in that vibration, but go ahead and try it and see what the results are. That's what this work is all about. Experiment. You don't have to experiment with dark work. You've probably already done enough in your life if you're anything like me. All right, so when I want to talk about what happens after that as we go through these stages of manifestation, right? So we've got, if we're in a vibration of love, connection, openness, that is going to have a result of being able to receive information, being able to receive knowledge, being able to receive clarity. So if you want to develop your intuition, if you want to develop your discernment, if you want to know what the hell is going on at any given moment, it would help to be open to receive the information and the knowledge. Am I right? Okay, contrast that with if you're in that place of fear and contraction, then and separation, then you're not really open to receive knowledge or truth. You're not open to receive help, and you're not open to receive more knowledge or clarity on the matter because you're shut down and you're in your feeling of contraction and separation, right? It's just you're all on your own, and you probably feel like you don't have what it takes. So what does that create? That creates confusion and ignorance. So if you want to stay in a state of confusion and ignorance, then stay in that contraction, stay in the energy of fear. If you want to be clear of confusion or ignorance, if you're having a moment of, wow, I feel really confused, really unsure of what the next thing is, I would recommend taking a little time out, reconnecting to what is real. And a great way you can do that is just stop, take a deep breath, ground your energy, affirm your connection to higher self, source energy, really take control of your whole energy field. This is my field. Anybody else's fear energy must leave now. So be it. Just command it right out of your space. Return to sender, return to sender. Who does that belong to? Return to sender. Chances are it's not even your fear. Okay. I'm going to get into this when we start doing more on the mind and things like that. Suffice it to say, confusion, ignorance is a flag to get back on the love train. So ignorance, as I heard somebody say one time, is not lacking knowledge because the information isn't there. It's lacking knowledge because you're ignoring it. Ignorance has the word ignore in it. So if you're feeling like you don't have enough information, I invite you to remember that you can come back to the vibration of love, and that will start to shift. Okay, so what I'm laying out here is a progression of manifestation based on these foundational energies. Are you creating it from a place of love or creating from a place of fear? So here we go. We're in the love vibration, AKA the light vibration. And so far we've got this feeling of connection, openness. So we're able to receive knowledge and be clear. on what's really going on. So when we have knowledge and clarity, then what does that lead to? It leads to an ability to master your individual realm. So this energy field, what's going on in this mind? What's going on in this heart? What's going on with these actions that I am taking? So as individuals, when we are in our correct state of mind and we are in alignment with the light, then that will lead to a place of self-mastery, and we will get so good at running our field in the way that we desire. Contrast that with what comes out of being in the dark vibration of fear, contraction, separation, confusion, and ignorance. What comes from that is the energy of victimhood and the need for control. So in the light and in the vibration of love, you seek to control this. This is the only thing you can control. Your own field of energy, yourself. You control yourself. You have self-control and self-mastery. Now, when you're in because you recognize this is it, this is all I need to focus on, is what I can do with my energy, right? Because remember that video I made, program or be programmed? If we're not taking full responsibility and claiming full ownership of this field and using that to project our will out into the field of creation, then we're just being programmed by what? That base level bullshit in the collective field. Okay, what does that create? Victimhood and the need to control other people, the need to control the thing out there, right? Because you're all contracted and separated, you're confused, you're ignorant, and you're going into a victimhood space of like, oh, I can't do anything, helplessness, hopelessness, despair, and the need to have to control what people out there are doing. You can't control what people out there are doing. If you want to stay helpless, try controlling what people out there are doing. If you want to feel empowered, try controlling the only thing that you actually have control over. And you maybe don't even feel like you have control over it. That's because we've been brainwashed to resonate with the darker vibration. Okay, so hey, wasn't your fault. You were brainwashed, right? As a child, right? As a child, you weren't like, hey, this sounds like fun. I think I'll sign up for a bunch of abuse. But as a soul, you came here to this plane to learn something very specific to you and your soul's mission. So if you want to delay knowing what that is and engaging with that and graduating from this level of the game, stay in victimhood and blaming other people and trying to control what other people are doing. Because you'll be going round and round on that wheel of karma for a long time. But if you're interested in getting off the ride and graduating and getting your wings, then I highly recommend staying in a place of focus on self-mastery. Okay, so we've got, we start with light, we go into the vibration of love, connection, openness, that allows us to receive knowledge and clarity. From there, we can achieve self-mastery because we actually know something and we are interested in acquiring the tools and the knowledge for self-mastery because we understand this is the only thing we can control, right? What is manifested from self-mastery? Freedom, health, joy, everything we say we want, everything we truly desire comes from this energy of aligning with the truth of who we really are. We really are beings of light. We really are beings of love. So when we align with the truth, we will manifest this ability to create outside of the sick, broken systems of oppression and control. And we can only do it for ourselves, which is really hard sometimes when you see how many people need help. But the only way you can help them is by shifting your own frequency. And then they can come into resonance with it, right? Because now you're the programmer. You're putting the energy out into the field. And those who resonate with it will be able to find you, and together we'll be creating all kinds of cool stuff. Now, contrast that with, being in the darkness. Being in the darkness, being in a vibration of fear, contraction, separation, cut off from knowledge, therefore in a state of confusion, ignorance, victimhood, the need to control other people. Inside, it's chaos, and outside, there's a seeking of control, right? Get this controlled, and then whatever chaos is happening out there will not be affecting what you put forward in the world and how you create the change in your world that can actually help other people. Okay? So, but when you're in that dark place, the end result is slavery and sickness, contrasted with freedom and health. So when you're disconnected from your power, you're basically just a slave to whatever is out there in the collective. And there's some dark shit. And it's like you're just a little puppet on a string, and you're getting tossed around on these emotional roller coasters and waves, and everything's just chaos all the time, confusion all the time. What does that do to your mind? What does that do to your heart? What does that do to your body? Probably not going to be manifesting radiant health and joy and ease. Probably going to be pretty sick in the mind, sick in the heart, sick in the body. So we see this kind of enslavement, which and people think that it's not happening because they don't see that it is a prison of the mind. It's in the mind. The slave system is in our minds. So, but that doesn't stop it from having a manifestation of sickness all throughout the manifested world of form. Okay, so if we want to manifest positive outcomes for ourselves and to put that vibration out into the field, saying, hey, try resonating with this, hey, jump on this love vibration. You know, we need these little beacons, little points of light all throughout the field, so that we really can feel that, hey, we're not crazy. Because I mean, it's hard. Okay, it's hard staying in this vibration of love and light when all around you is just chaos, confusion, slavery, sickness, this kind of like fascist need for controlling what other people are doing. It's very disheartening, and I believe it's designed to be that way. So the best thing we can do if we're not down with that is withdraw our energy, withdraw our consent, withdraw our attention. Our time and attention are like spiritual currency in this realm. We withdraw our energy from these systems and they will collapse. They're already collapsing. They're not sustainable. I mean, you could even say they're designed to collapse. Like, there's really not anything to do with fixing something that can't be fixed. You can't be in that space of the dark fear vibration. You can't be in there and make any kind of positive outcome. You can't believe in any of that shit and have a positive outcome. Ultimately, we have to withdraw all of our energy, all of our belief. Remember that video I made saying, don't believe me? Check it out. I'm going to get more into belief busting though, believe it. See what I did there? But yeah, so I think this is a good place to leave it for today. I could just feel like I'm starting to ramble a little bit, so I'm going to pull it back. Just know that anytime you like, you can shift. So if you feel like, you know, you're seeing outcomes that you like, that are really getting you in touch with your soul mission, and it feels good, and you're feeling like you're mastering your own energy and your own mind, and you're getting stronger, great. If you're feeling like you're confused and you're kind of scrambling, or you're feeling like a victim, it's really important to just stop and take a beat. Allow yourself to process, because sometimes these feelings come from old trauma being triggered and coming up for healing. So take time to process, but then get back on board the love train. I love that song. If you don't know the song Love Train, check it out. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.